Are you jumping into the junk removal or trash business? Well, if you are, you're in the right place. Here on the Trash Talk Business Podcast, we cover everything you need to know to start, grow, and scale your junk removal company with a little bit of trash talk along the way. And now, here's your host. I'm Andy Weins, joined by Casey Bubba Lawrence. How the hell are you today?
Good. What's going on? How are you, Mr. Cruz?
Yeah, I just got off a cruise. What episode? Every week I do this.
This is 10.
10. We're on 10. We hit double digits, boys and girls. Let's go. Also, there's the intro that I read, and I hate reading it. But if I don't read it, then what are we even doing here? So that's just me. So I can be housebroken. I just choose not to. All right, Casey. Per usual. What are we talking about today?
Well, it's interesting. So last week, you're on your cruise, and I guess we could say we had a week off. And, I learned a lot. I actually met with some people, and a subject came up that was very overused, and not a lot of people understand it, and it was branding. And I was like, dude, I mean, you could literally sit down for hours and just talk on branding alone.
Yep.
How to do it, what to do, what is branding, do I do it for this situation? And I was talking to this guy, and he was like, look, man, you need to just brand yourself for now. Like, who cares about whatever else? So he has, I'll do like a little small plug for him, I guess, but he actually created a website. It's called crowdshare.com, and he's actually in the process of getting that thing kickstarted. It's pretty badass, but we talked for a long time about
Crowdshare.
Yeah.
Right.
And his name's Lane. He's a good dude. We talked a while, but the biggest thing was branding, and how even if you're going into business, you need to brand yourself more than you would brand what you're doing, because what you're doing is not always going to be what you're doing forever. But who you are, that's never going to change. So.
Correct. Who you are and why you do it is a hell of a lot more interesting and important than what you do and or the fucking logo on your shirt. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm on his. The only thing is, the first thing I'm on his website. So
I think
pretty solid website. I like it. Look for was there it is, leadership. All right. So one of the first things I always do, I scan the top, the about us of the leadership. Oh, everything's fucking coming soon. Well, that's bullshit. What's this cat's?
Pretty big.
What's this cat's name on LinkedIn? This is how I do work.
Lane Gregory.
There's no way I can spell that.
Yeah, you
All right,
can.
I'll pull it up. So this is how. Yeah. Well, no, that wasn't the hard one. So this the old double first name, like on what the fuck? What was the show with Zoe Deschanel?
New Girl.
New Girl. She liked dudes with double first names. Gregory, Lane Gregory applies here. So this is okay. So no shit. Earlier today, I had someone apply for a position within one of my companies, and the first thing I did was I Googled that ass and find the LinkedIn, and ambassador, marketing expert, speaker, ping pong connoisseur, in Roanoke, Texas, Lane Gregory. I found him on LinkedIn. So this is how I operate my life. If I don't know something, I Google it. We all have supercomputers in our pockets. I had lunch earlier today, and this woman asked me, she's like, hey, what do you think about this? And I was like, funny story, I don't think. Super convenient when I don't think. I research, and then based on what the data tells me, I repeat, parts and pieces of what I read and or what people tell me. So I'm actually reaching out to Lane right now, adding him on LinkedIn. So the other thing is, I just put the person's name. Like, I'm adding this guy. I'm gonna say Casey Bubba Lawrence told me to connect. That's it. And that's because that's all I know at this point. Also, I can't spell Lawrence apparently. All right, we're good. Said we should connect. So there we go. If you want to know how to connect with people on the internet, so that's it. You drop them a personal message on LinkedIn. If I wasn't interrupted by myself talking, probably would have taken 30 seconds from the announcement of Lane Gregory 1H2. We're connected on LinkedIn. Anywho, while I'm typing, what is it you learned? Or was that it? Was that the whole kit and caboodle? You got to learn how to brand yourself first. That's it.
I thought it was just very interesting how we talked about branding, and one of the key aspects that kind of stood out was a lot of entrepreneurs, especially I guess in the stages maybe we're in. We're not in startup stage. We're kind of past that, but a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck on branding what they're doing and not who they are and why. So I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on that.
Well, look how we were absolutely guilty of that when we joined a franchise.
Right.
And we were specifically told, trained and mentored that fuck you in the area you work in. It's more important that you represent the company and the logo and the brand that we put out, even though you individually run your business differently.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one of the downsides of, we started this podcast in a lot of ways to give people the answer to the test without charging them like a franchisor would, because when we didn't know, we went out and paid someone to tell us something that we don't now agree with, which is the individual entrepreneur is more important than the services they provide and the company they represent. I will make that argument all day. Yeah. At the end of the day, the good leader, the right leader, the righteous person, and the individual that gives a shit about the entrepreneurial journey, what they do and their company brand are less significant. And your personal brand, that's a challenge too. I've had this conversation with my girlfriend before. She's like, "Oh, your personal brand, fine. It's a churched up way of saying your reputation. That's what it is. What is your reputation?
Yeah.
Are you a 5-star kind of guy, girl, or are you okay with 3.2 stars? Because that's it. I'm having troubles in one of my companies right now, and it's a communication issue. People are reaching out to me personally and being like, "Hey, I expect a higher service from you because I know you're better than this." That isn't a knock on the brand or the service we provide. That's a personal attack on me because business is personal, and I took it personal. She expected better from me, and you know what? I didn't fucking deliver, so I had to own up to it. So now I have to go have the conversation with my leadership team.
Yeah.
To make sure we are meeting customers' expectations, because their expectations are what I stand for, not what the company puts on a fucking website.
Is this business...
There's your personal brand. It's your reputation.
Is the business that you had that call from, is that currently in a growth stage?
No, it's actually it's in a stage of stagnation.
Oh, okay.
And because the leadership in that company has a stagnant mindset. And when you have a stagnant mindset, you start to suffer. If you're not growing, you're dying. That's it, right? So typically in business, you have two options. You're either growing or you're dying. Third option is stagnation. The problem with stagnation is inflation will always outpace stagnation. And right now, like a motherfucker, we had our second biggest month ever in May from a top line revenue standpoint, but our expenses were through the roof because fuel is up. And I'm not a fucking broken record here. We're not going to turn this into a Ukraine shitty fucking policy argument. The fact of the matter is inflation is up, prices are up, labor is up, disposal is up, fuel is up. So when those three things are up, you could be in growth mode, second best month ever, but on the bottom line, your EBITDA is no better than it was the month before.
Yeah.
So you're growing, you're dying, or you're stagnating. And when you're stagnating, inflation will defeat stagnation all fucking day. Put that on a goddamn T-shirt. There's your fucking soundbite. Look at that. 7.5 minutes into the show, we already got our soundbite. There's the name of your episode. Stagnation loses to inflation.
So you know what? Let's touch a little bit on that, because I had a conversation with a guy named Jordan a couple days ago. He's a local junk removal guy. Good dude. He's been doing this he's in his third year. He's still in the truck. All right. He's stuck in the truck. He has.
He's still stuck in the truck. There's your fucking word. Still stuck in the truck.
So we spoke, and he was telling me, he goes, "Look, man, I'm at a crossroads." And he's already told me this before. And I'm like, we had the conversations like, look, you need to make a decision. Do you want to, if you want to keep going, why do you want to keep going? Honestly. Not trying to be pessimistic, but why do you want to do it?
How many other trucks is he running, or is it just him and his one truck?
I think he has a couple trucks, but he's in the truck. You know what I'm saying? So
got it.
Any kind of
running
job,
two, three crews, but he's ass on the job site.
So we were talking, and luckily for him, he it's not his own source of income or his only source of income. But we were speaking. He's like, "Yeah, man, I think it's time I'm going to hang it up." He's like, "I've been trying to fight with this idea. Do I just sell everything and close it down, or do I try to just sell everything and then keep the name and just kind of contract it out?" And I said, "Here's the deal. When I was going through the decision-making process of, do I close down? Do I sell? Do I keep going? I looked at different options. You could try being a broker. The problem with being a broker is you're starting from zero because it's not the same. Yep. You literally have to.
That's a different business. Maybe the relationships change over, but completely different business.
Right. So we talked about that. Then I was like, if you want to sell the company, I go, let me ask you a question. I'm just guessing. And the reason we had this conversation real quick, my last veteran meetup, my guest speaker was a business broker, right? That's all he fucking does.
Yep.
Buys and sells companies. So I asked him, let me ask you a question. Did your CPA hook you up on your business? He goes, what do you mean? I go, did you have to pay taxes the first couple of years? He's like, no. I'm like, well, then guess what? Bad news. You can't sell your damn company. Like, honestly, that's just how it's going to be for right now. So we had a conversation. I go, why do you want to get out of this? And he goes, it's because of our first conversation. You said once I get out of the truck, it doesn't get hard. It doesn't get easier, but that's the only way I can grow. He goes, well, the hardest thing for me is finding people to grow. I can't find someone without paying them $30 a damn hour. And I'm like, yeah. I go, that sucks. On top of fuel.
You know what?
And
well, if you look at the last 2 years, a lot of small businesses went out of business, right? Mm-hmm. But the amount of sole proprietors and 1099 is through the roof, and it's because, I don't know, somewhere between 1860 and 1880, we started working for other people, right? And now since 1880, 1890, we work for other people. So we got 130, 140 years of this experiment called work for other fucking people.
Yeah.
And before that, you worked for maybe a small little collective, right? You worked as a farm hand, right? Or you were a sole proprietor. You were the guy or girl that did the thing in town, or in a given area. Now we have all these other people working. The challenge now is it's the pendulum swung, right? So let's look at three groups of people. You can work for corporate America.
Hey, just scrap the branding. We're not going to be talking about branding this episode. We'll do that the next one.
Well, why?
Why not?
We'll
I mean, because let's keep all of this, right?
We started with branding. God only knows where this takes us. Anyhow, what I'm getting at here is the people over the last 2 years that were loyal to the safety and security of working for companies are still working for companies. God bless them. The people that want to go out on their own are going out on their own as sole proprietors. And because there's a lack of challenges, right? You go on Etsy, you can sell your thing. You put up a couple LinkedIn posts. You can put you can have a coaching or consulting business by way of Zoom, right? So the lack of barriers to entry are allowing people to be sole proprietors. The other thing is people are realizing, you know what? If I just do what I do and not dick around with employees or other people, I can make more money. Now I got to do all the aspects of the business, but I can make more money and be happier. The challenge is I am the ceiling. So are you willing to be the ceiling of your own organization? And I have seen post-pandemic, more people are. They're like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of my $70,000, $80,000 a year job if I can make $50,000 a year working for myself, and I'm gonna pick and choose when I work, and that is happier. And the $20,000, $30,000 delta, they would rather take that and make their 50, 60 with the expectation they're going to make six figures in 2 or 3 years from now on their own, not with employees. Because we know in junk removal, for example, you got to get out of the truck within the first 18 to 24 months, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're in the truck after 3 years, you're going to be in the truck till the day you close it. That is, you go through two full cycles and you haven't figured out how to get out of it, you're going to get stuck in the truck. So if he's year 3, he's stuck in the truck, he can't scale, and now he's so ingrained on how the business runs, he is the business, it is going to be extremely difficult for him to get out of the truck while hiring a replacement that can work at a level that is acceptable to him now today when he's not in growth mode because he's in I'm going to pull back mode. Yeah. It's tough.
It is. And I think, unfortunately, honestly, dude, in his case, he didn't have an Andy Weins or fucking Casey at the time of starting. And the early, like the first and second year are so fucking crucial in this kind of business.
So critical.
Volatile that if you don't have any kind of mentor or even like an advisor, hey, dude, I'm going to call you and ask you for favors or questions. I hope I don't annoy you, but if I do, sorry. You got to have that because I'm going to tell you, when we started, there was no like year 10, this is what it looks like. There wasn't. It was year 1 through 5.
We wrote it.
And we looked at like, well, that's crazy because my year 1 looks like their year 3. My year 3 looks like their year 6. Oh, they don't have a year 6. Well, shit. So what is this? What good is this?
Correct. They did a 2-truck model, and it's like, well, what do I do when I'm my 3rd or 4th truck? It was all uncharted territory.
Yeah, or 5th.
You and I had to lean on it. Well, and we had to lean on each other. Yeah, we had to lean on each other, and we were hitting the same problems and same issues, but we had to lean on each other. The challenge is the other issue this individual has. We'll get back to Brandon here in a minute. But the other challenge this individual has, if you have the mindset or notion that someone's going to work as hard for you as you work for yourself, that's fucking garbage.
It is, yeah.
And after the issue is, if after 3 years you haven't identified someone on your team that is truly your number 2 that could possibly take over, you're the 1, 2, and the 3.
Well, and I think a lot of it. So I also have another buddy of mine, Marine, good dude. Him and his brother, when I say brother, Marine brother, they both own their junk removal company, and they just rebranded. They just got out of a franchise, rebranded. And I don't want to say names. I mean, fuck it. Look, he's a good dude. We were having a conversation, and he told me, he goes, I'm in growth mode right now. I have to grow or I'm going to die. And I go, let me ask you a question. Who's your number 2? Who runs the company while you're doing it? While you're doing the thing. He goes, Josh is. I go, let me ask you a question. How much do you pay Josh? He's like, around 60, 65. I said, he's on a truck every fucking day. He's a crew. He's just a driver. And he goes, I know, man. I go, here's what I would do. If you said, hey, Casey, I want you to buy my business. And I would say, okay, cool. We agreed on a price. Guess what the first thing I would do is? He goes, what? I would fire Josh. He goes, but why? He's such a, he's one of the founding members. I go, because he's an overpaid driver, dude. I can
$65,000 a year crew chief. Yeah.
He's getting paid $60,000 a year.
Or promote that guy. Promote that guy to the general manager or something.
Well, the thing is,
he's second location or something.
Well, here's the thing. He's in that situation that is his title. Josh's title is general manager or whatever. They don't have the people. I go, it's hard to be a leader when you got nobody to lead. I was like, you got to keep
nobody to lead.
Full. Yeah. You got to hire. Always be hiring. They say always be selling. Always be fucking hiring.
Always be hiring.
If you're not always hiring in this business, you're gonna fucking die. It's gonna hurt you when you're busy. It's gonna hurt you when you're slow. So I was like, get your bullpen full, and then you have this guy. You can have someone to lead.
The hiring process is simple. Is the person you interview, or the person you're interviewing, are they better than your worst employee? The answer is yes. You hire them, and you face on the worst employee, and you never stop doing that. That's it. You never stop doing that.
Yeah. Right. Is this guy good? Do you want 10 more like him? Why not?
Every year, every major sports organization drafts, and they draft, and they draft, and then they go to free agency, and then they coach up and train up their existing. And then they have scouts go and look for some obscure guy in some fucking country never heard of because maybe that's the next best. Name that player.
Dude, speaking of coaches,
never stop.
Speaking of coaches, I'm glad you brought that up. That was literally the conversation I had with him. I go, "What do you do when you're overbooked or whatever?" He goes, "Oh, well, I'll get in the truck and I'll do it." I go, "Let me ask you a question. When have you ever fucking seen a pro team put their coach in? When does a coach ever get in? Never.
Mike McCarthy's fat ass ain't getting under center.
No. So,
which God, I loved it when y'all picked up Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy.
Y'all can have him back. Man,
he will. Oh my God, 10-6. I'm gonna get a 1 touchdown lead, and we're gonna milk the clock. I don't care if there's 8 minutes left in the second quarter. We're playing prevent defense, baby. We're playing prevent. He was actually really good at prevent offense. He's like, let's run the ball twice, throw it on third down, and punt. We're gonna keep doing that till there ain't no more score.
Sooner or later, something's gonna happen.
Sooner or later, some piss poor team like the Niners are gonna beat us in the playoffs.
Yeah,
because you can't win with your defense on the field.
I think it's one of those things because I told him, I go, look, it may work. That's survival mode, but the issue with that is you can't live when you're trying to survive because you're just surviving. And I was like, I asked him, I go, if you had a football team and you're like, hey, I need a new head coach, and you're going to go hire a high school basketball coach to coach your NFL football team, would you do that? He goes, no. I was like, this is the other problem that junk removal has. It's hard to hire from the outside as far as a management goes because they don't know how to run a junk removal company, right? So we get there's a lot of issues with the growth and how to maintain, but in that second, like day whatever the fuck, 740 or 730, year 2, that's when you need like, okay, look, guys, I'm not in the truck anymore. Like, this is just how it is. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs or guys that want to be in charge of their own schedule, they buy a job or they get into their own job, working for themselves, and they don't know how to get into that. I'm a business owner / I'm self-employed.
Well, because they bought a job.
Yeah.
But you just hit the nail on the head. They bought a job.
Yeah.
So the other thing, well, here's how you take care of that issue you talked about where you have a GM. Well, after you get your GM or fleet commander or whatever, number 2 guy or girl in place, then you go and get yourself an operations person. Right? I always joke that if our operations that's our last line of defense. Me, the owner, will get in a truck before our operations person will, because if she's on a truck, then we're out of bodies, right? That's like, right. Your head coach will go in occasionally, like if you have to, before that. But you got to build in, you got to build in that much flexibility within your business, depending on where you want to go. If you want to buy yourself a job, that's fine. I can teach you how to run a $500,000 to $750,000 company where you're in the truck and you're running 2.5, 3 trucks a day, given the seasonality of the business, and you can survive and you can get by being the guy or the girl in your industry in your town.
Take home.
If you want to take fucking
70 to 90 a year.
Oh, you could probably you could. I say you could maybe 120, 125 if you do it right. Yeah. If you scale it. Again, then I'm in growth mode where I'm like, I can scale it to 3 trucks. Once you get 3 trucks, then you get this person. Then you're already fucking out of it, right? And the only way you can probably scale it to 125 is if you have someone that's running your operations that is overworking and underproducing. You got a wife or a family member making $40,000 when they're really worth 70, 80. Yeah. Right. And then that's how you scale it to, your 120 a year. Because if you paid yourself 75, you pay somebody else 75. That's kind of what you got. You got right on 600,000, you're only going to have 150,000 left. That's it. I mean, that's the math says 25% of that 600. Yeah. There it is. There's your operating wage, or you get yourself a fucking big boy job and you're paying a GM, 75,000, and then you make $75,000 to the investor to go in addition with your 6-figure real job potentially. I know a guy that does that. He runs a 2-truck operation in Chicago. He's done very well for himself because he spends maybe 2-3 hours a day on the business, and he has. I think his wife answers the phone throughout the day. She's home with the kids, and they got their 2 guys that show up to a random parking lot and they go bang jobs. That works, but he owns a company, but he still has a job. He still works for somebody else, and he loves it. He tried quitting his job, and they gave him a raise. So I'm like, hey, God bless, that fucking works, and he's happy. Yeah. So he looks at that $50,000 to $100,000 a year income as somewhat active income, but it's a side hustle. His junk removal company is a side hustle. Let's go back to branding. That's where we're supposed to start this thing. Branding, personal brand. Look at you. You went from franchise world to demo Worx, right? But when I talk to you, I'm like, hey, it's KP Bubba Lawrence. Yeah. If you want shit done, look for the guy with the fucking, the big beard toting around with 2 kids. Yeah. Driving a big old pick-em-up truck. A Chevy now. You were a Ford guy before. Now you're GMC. Same shit. Anyhow. Yeah.
It's a Chevy with a tux on.
Tux with, is that what it is? Or no, a Chevy is a fucking GMC with a fucking bow tie. Ain't that what it's supposed to be?
I guess.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. GMC's the best. Out of the
GMC's the best. Oh my God. So let's talk about personal branding. Yeah. Right? And we do that a little bit on our business podcast. That's why we got that fucking picture. The first iteration of our logo, Casey's hat and hairline looked like he was bald. He was pissed. He was very upset. Casey and I, oh yeah. For anybody that's keeping track at home, here we are. We do have hair. We just both wear ball caps. Yes. I'm here. You know what? Here, shout out. I gotta hold on. I gotta look at this hat. Hold on. I'm taking my headphones off. Shout out to ELV Select Equipment. They are the sponsor of this hat. I got this at the Waste Convention. So I went to the Waste Convention in Vegas, and I fucking can't put my headphones on now. So Casey's talking. I can't hear it. It ain't fucking worth it. Anyway, so I go to the Waste Convention in Vegas, and I was like, hey, I love that fucking hat. I used to have a Jeep lime green like this, and they had like 12 hats out, right? And I'm not a there you go. I am not a swag kind of guy. Anyways, so I go there, and I was like, hey, tell you what. They're selling equipment, like $300,000 equipment, shredders and stuff. I was like, I would fucking love to have one of these, but I'm not in the market right now. I said, but you got this sweet-ass hat. This is the offer I'll make. I will put my name down in your email list. I will unsubscribe as soon as you send me the first email. However, if you let me take this hat, I will wear it the rest of the Waste Convention. So I did. The next 2 days in Vegas, I wore this hat. I produced probably 0 sales for them. But now here we are, episode 10 of the Trash Talk Business Podcast, and they are the official sponsors of my hat. And it's going to turn into my volleyball hat this summer because it's a good hat, fits well. with the perforations.
This
There we go. So going back, that's your hat. That you should go with that. That's Texas as fuck. That's your personal brand.
$10 at 7-Eleven.
$10?
Yeah.
I bought a
hat. It's a sun hat.
It's a sun hat. So I bought a hat somewhere in Galveston, Texas. Galveston, Texas, hot place. That's where the cruise came out of. And I wore this hat. God damn it now. And everyone kept calling me Panama Jack. That's it. Everyone kept calling me Panama Jack. And I was like, who is this Panama Jack motherfucker? We ain't had no goddamn meeting. I don't know who Panama Jack is. And they're like, oh, it's a Panama Jack hat. So talk about personal branding. I was wearing a Hurley hat, right? And they're like, oh, you look like Panama Jack. That's good fucking branding. Because now it's like, oh, you look like Panama Jack. Apparently, tall, skinny white guy with a goofy fucking hat walking around Galveston, Texas. That's Panama Jack, right? And a nice white shirt, linen shirt.
Linen.
Right? Perforated. I learned so many things about clothes recently. So I had to buy clothes for a cruise. And apparently black T-shirts, camel pants, and work boots aren't the preferred what have yous.
Apparently.
I live in two sets of clothes. I live in my camel pants and black T-shirt with a ball cap, and I live in board shorts with flip-flops and a ball cap and sunglasses. That's it. And always $5 sunglasses, cheapies, right? Like these ones here. These are from the Elmhurst Dentistry for Kids. I got these out of my girlfriend's. There we go. I got these out of my girlfriend's car, and she's like, "Oh, they're stupid. They're for my kid." I was like, "That's all right. They fit, and they're green, and they match my hat." So branding, right? When I first started in the junk roll world, I showed up to networking events with my camo pants, and I got the fucking look. Yeah. People looked at me like, "You don't belong here."
First,
and you know what? Rightly so.
Like this guy, and then it's like, "Yeah, you don't belong here." But then I somehow want to
exactly. But you keep fucking showing up. They got to acknowledge it. And if you can keep showing up, paying your dues, investing in networking, right? You're doing something right. So if you don't look like everybody else, you're probably doing something even more right because you're not playing by their fucking rules.
Yeah.
So when it comes to branding, absolutely, I can change my damn T-shirt. That's for sure. I can't change the fact that I'm tall, 6'4", and obnoxious, and I love wearing camel pants. They're just comfy. So what can I say? So when it comes to personal branding, it is much who you show up as and also what is your reputation. And if you're obnoxious, be obnoxious. If you don't want to be obnoxious, stop being fucking obnoxious and people won't call you that. But show up. And this is what I tell people.
Right.
What's that?
Why are you doing the thing? Like, whatever you're doing and why. I want to know why.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for instance, Homeboy, episode 8. The first guest we had, super successful. Mike, yeah.
Oh yeah, wicked smart dude. Yeah, awesome dude.
That guy has so many businesses and so much experience that at this point, he doesn't really, he's not trying to stand out above the crowd as much as he's trying to meet the Andy Weins of the crowd, right?
Yeah.
But that's his prerogative, and I think a lot of us, they have to figure out who they are before they can brand themselves,
Yeah, you have to figure out your why, and also how you operate as a business leader. And your brand is not a stagnant thing. It is forever evolving. You got to look at the indicators around you. Am I coming across the way that I want to be coming across? Are people getting out of me what I want to say? And if not, you got to adjust fire.
Yeah.
And your brand is as much, right, I was starting to say, right, how you show up, and it's all about showing up when you show up, unapologetically, whoever you are. And then on the backside, what do people say about you when you leave the room, good, bad, or indifferent? It doesn't matter. It's part of your brand. If they're like, man, that guy's fucking obnoxious, okay, but he runs a successful business. All right, that'll do.
Yeah,
I would rather take that than be like, oh, he's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, his business is kind of shitty. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's my own prerogative. Other people like to be liked. I don't care if I'm liked. I need to be respected. And so I have to put on a really good business. And part of the personal brand and the challenge is if you show up wearing a T-shirt and camo pants or, looking not like everybody else, you're better. Your business better not suck because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, so I run a veterans group. It's a veterans networking business group. Honestly, that's just a good way to put it.
Break it down.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 2,000 something members. We have monthly meetings, and it's a good deal. But here's what works for us. The guy who founded it, his name is Brandon Wong. Super awesome dude. He's very reserved.
Yep.
He's more of an introvert. He'd rather be at home behind his computer alone doing his shit. Whereas where I come in, I'm the guy who's in front of everybody. I'm talking to people. I'm getting everybody excited about this, and this. Him and I fit perfectly because he's like, look, strategically, he's here. But for me, it's more of like, hey, you know what? I'm going to set this thing up, but I need you to run it. I need you to roll that dice, and I need you to take care of business. And we
show up and do the thing.
Yeah, and we fit very great together. Now, you take, for example, my mom and myself. When we worked together, we butted heads all the damn time because we are so much alike. Imagine being in the car and you're fighting with the passenger constantly. Who's driving? What the fuck? I'm driving. No, I'm driving. Well, I'm driving, but I can drive better. Then why aren't you driving? Right? That kind of thing. So when you're branding yourself and you're trying to figure out who you are and your why, honestly, the biggest thing is if you were to put your business aside right now, okay, and you were like, hey, this is Andy Weins, this is his businesses. Don't worry about those right now. Who the fuck is Andy Weins? Why should I invest in him? Because people invest in people 100%. I'm going to tell you right now, I've learned over the years, people will use me over using my service because the communication, because I show up, I do the thing, I take care of them, and I am Casey Bubba Lawrence or whatever the fuck. So whether you're junk removal or demolition or whatever, that's cool. That may be what you're doing, but who you are, that doesn't have to be who you are. And you know what? I'll tell you, a lot of the franchise guys, no matter what they're doing, I mean, imagine you were on your cruise and all you did was wear your shit, your company shit. It doesn't do you any good, no offense, because you're on a damn cruise. People aren't going to be like, you know what? I'm glad I saw that. When I get home, the first thing I'm doing, clean out the garage. No. They're on a fucking cruise, man. But yet you see a lot of these franchise guys go on vacations. They go to these different places. They're decked out in their franchise attire. I'm like, dude, take a fucking break.
I don't think anybody in the cruise, I can actually say that. No one in the cruise has any fucking clue what I did because I was partying. Now I went hard, right? I was known as So the guy I was there with my girlfriend, her son, and then her brother, sister-in-law, and then her niece. And my girlfriend's brother, we put in a volleyball tournament. Here's a personal brand, right? We bought $12 Folkleys the day before in Mexico. $12 fake Oakleys. Yeah. These things are fucking legit. You know what? Tell you what, I'm going to have one of my guys right behind the screen here. I'm going to have him go get my Folkleys. My sweet-ass Folkleys from my Jeep. We'll put them on here, maybe. Anyways, our personal brand, we played in this volleyball tournament. Now, this is cruise volleyball, right? This is slapstick. Everyone's in the fucking net. The guy that was the ref didn't know what out or in was. The crowd is. We had a crowd. We had a crowd of like 100 people watching this tournament because it was the last day on the second last day on the cruise. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. It was the hottest place on the boat to be. Anyways, we're wearing our Folkleys that we got from the day before, and people started saying, "Oh, watch out for green! Watch out for green! Watch out for pink! Oh, don't like pink, get it! Don't get green!" Just on our sunglasses. The rest of the cruise, we were known as pink and green. That was it. People called us pink and green. Here's my point. For people, they're like, I'm going to work on my personal brand and I'm going to be this person. No. Yeah. Capture who the fuck you are. Go out and go to market on that. Run for office on that. And then if you don't like who you are, change you, right? Adjust you, and then your personal brand will follow. Like, for me, if I don't want to be known as the fucking loud, obnoxious guy that swears, well, I have to find a way to communicate more effectively without being loud and obnoxious and swearing. Yeah. And then my brand will follow. Mm-hmm. The challenge is there's a lot of people that are watching social media that get on LinkedIn. They fucking read every comment. They listen. Even now with LinkedIn, I got back on LinkedIn a couple months ago, 2 months ago, about the time we started this Trash Talk business podcast. My non-compete is over. I got this cloud that was over me for 2 years that prevented me from seeing right? The sunlight through all the bullshit, the haze.
Preventing you from doing a lot of shit. You couldn't even enjoy conversations.
Correct.
Was that what you had to say?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Correct. Whatever. It was as much mental as it was legal. Whatever. Right. So that cloud of bullshit is beyond me. But when I got back on LinkedIn this time around, I got a guy who he's here right now taking pictures. He records shit. And no, they're my Fay-Bands, baby. They're my Fay-Bands. Bring that. Hold on. They're in the back seat. They're green. Here we go. Here we go. We're branding all this shit. Here is my Hurley hat. Right. So I'm gonna wear my Panama Jack hat. Yeah. These are my Fay-Bands. So I got the Folkleys and the Fay-Bands. What you know about that? What you know? Now you guys can see what I see. That's what you know about that. So I'm gonna take this off again. Anyways, I'll keep talking because that's what I do. So this is my Hurley Panama Jack hat. America is fuck. And this hat, I didn't even buy this one. I don't know how I'm gonna put the headphones on. I didn't buy this one. Someone, as we are debarking the cruise, leaving the cruise, someone left it on the cruise. So as far as I was concerned, they were littering, and I was cleaning up their litter. So I can't fucking wear headphones with this thing. I acquired this hat. Is that who that guy is?
Yeah, you're missing
that sweet ass fucking mustache. That Panama Jack guy. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that guy's fucking legit. It's fucking legit. I got to figure out how to do this. I want to wear this hat the rest of the show. I don't think I can do it. Figure it out. I mean, I just say that I can do it. It's going to just look goofy. Yeah. There we go. Done. This is how we do it. Anyways, it's a comfy hat. I bought one and I acquired one, and the one I bought. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on, Fabio's got my glasses. Let's go. What you know about them Folkleys, baby? That's what's up. When you're on a cruise, wearing some Folkleys, playing a volleyball tournament, people know you as green. That's it. The guy I was rolling with, he had a pink pair. And at first, here's what's fucked up. At first, when we're buying the glasses, he saw my green ones. He was jealous because, let's be honest, right? And then he's like, "Oh, I want to get an orange pair." I was like, "Yeah, I think they got orange." Well, they had orange, but a different style. The only other color they had in this style were pink. He's like, "Can't do it." I was like, "Dude, you can fucking do it. Like, you can do it." He's like, "All right." He was, "All right, you're right. We're on a cruise. I'm gonna wear them for like a day." After the first day of everyone calling them pink, he's like, "Dude, I'm wearing these at home. Like, I have become the sunglasses." Yeah. And that is case in point. He got thinking, "Oh, I can't wear these because I don't want it to affect the way people see me." And then once he embraced the pink sunglasses, they became his brand. So that's my challenge to everybody out there with your personal brand. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Right? Figure out personal or self, not personal, self-awareness first. Self-awareness, who are you? Then self-regulate based on who do you want to be, who do you want to show the world, what direction do you want to go in life? And then in self-reflection, are those things lining up? Is who you are, who you show up as, and who you show up as, who you want to be. And in reflection, go back to the top, which is a self-awareness, right? So for me, if I want to wear stupid Folkley sunglasses on a cruise, okay. Now, that's who I was on the cruise. I was Cruise Andy, but I wasn't Camo Crew. Come let me grab your junk. I'm an entrepreneur veteran. Hear me roar.
Yeah.
Because that's not who I showed up as. And then regulate based on your audience.
Well, and also,
but it all comes down to who you are.
Yeah, if you're one of these guys who's a franchisee, okay, any franchise really, you have to ask yourself, what if? Like, what if tomorrow I'm not in the franchise anymore? Not just what am I going to do, but who will I be? Because the biggest mistake that we all made, I think, when you're trying to push a certain narrative, you become that narrative. Whether it be
100%,
fucking junk removal. You become that guy. When I was J-Dog, it wasn't, people fucking thought. Honestly, I started the entire thing. I would go to Orlando to a conference, and I'd wear a J-Dog shirt. Oh my gosh, dude, are you the founder? I'm like, no. But it really surprises me that I'm all the way across the country in a different place, and someone recognizes the brand and automatically thinks I own it. Now, why is that? There's two reasons. Either one, because I am I've saturated that much where people literally think I am, or B, there's literally no one else there among the 3,000-4,000 people that have that fucking brand. So they're going to be like, oh, this guy must be the owner, right?
He's got to be the guy, yeah.
I wasn't. Now, when I I think year 4, year 5, I started getting into my mind. You and I started talking a lot more then. And that's when I started thinking, I'm not going to be doing this forever. So now I got to start thinking about me, who I am. What am I going to be doing? Who am I going to be after I leave the junk business? Because last thing you want to do is leave. Then people are like, hey, you're the junk guy. Oh, I got all this junk. And it's like, well, actually, I'm not. I'm a social media guy or whatever. Oh, I don't need that. I need junk. Well, shit. Now you lose your audience because they still think you're that guy. So
yeah, they associate you.
Yeah, I think whenever you're pushing the narrative, sometimes you become the narrative. So you have to realize who are you outside of what you're doing? Who are you? Andy fucking Weins. You know, I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah, I personally know you, so I know your shit. But if I didn't personally know you, I would honestly come up to you and say, okay, what do you do? It looks like you have Camo Crew shirt. Awesome. Tell me about Camo Crew. But then again, your equipment hat. So which is it? And you know what I'm saying? Then I start to get to know Andy. So it's very important.
But if I tell you that, but if I tell you the story that I went to the Weins Expo and took this hat off a guy's table and I'm rocking it because he gave it to me for free, you're like, yeah, there's a guy that doesn't give a shit, right? It all makes sense. The thing you're talking about was interesting.
I'm not the founder of Browning, but
you don't know. Maybe you are. 870s. I grew up. I grew up on an 870. I think everyone grew up on an 870. And then I'm trying to think what else I had after that. Then my brother shot Mossberg 1200s from Winchester's.
At Winchester, yeah.
Is that 1200? Is it Winchester? It's got a safety on the top. I never liked those.
I had that. Yeah, I had a 12 gauge. My first gun was actually a 20 gauge single shot pump. It was like this big, dude. It knocked me on my ass.
What do you mean? Wait, a single shot pump or
a single shot, not a pump.
Single shot, not a pump.
Single shot 20 gauge. My first ever weapon. My second weapon was a 30-06. My third weapon was a 12 gauge.
Oh, you motherfucker!
And I was like 8 or 9 when I got my shotgun. Yeah.
There we go. I just typed in Remington 870. It's my favorite. Like that's what I grew up on. And now Remington went through some shit and then they paid some lawsuits and now they're going out of business or didn't or something. And it is tough. 11 million 870s allegedly. 11 million built exactly like one other shotgun ever. All right, so there's 11 million 870s, and I struggle to find one. It's such a simple weapon system. I love the 870. Anyways, all right. Now that I don't know. Oh, you got your personal brand thing. Oh, the other thing, the feedback I'll give was interesting. I thought about this when you brought up about being at that conference. So that one of the first times I was on TV pitching the franchise, I started talking about the founder, right? Because you said when you said you started to become the brand, I started being like, oh yeah, the founder, blah blah blah. And they said one of the feedback pieces they gave me straight up was, we don't care about the founder of the franchise
because you're here.
We care about you.
You're here.
We care about the person in front of us.
Yeah.
We give a shit about what your why is. We give a shit about where you're going in life. We give a shit about the fact that you're local, right? So that's what they give a shit about. And that's the challenge. The lie that you are sold is you can't do it without good company branding. That's a fucking lie. Dude. You can do it with a little bit of chutzpah, a little bit of company branding. You need some. But more than anything, you need a personal brand or reputation of someone that they can trust.
Yeah.
Right. We can go with Dale Carnegie, right? People that they know, like, and trust, right? If you go out there and I can tell people all the time, I can only control 2 of the 3 know, like, and trust. Meatloaf said it best. 2 out of 3 ain't fucking bad. You will know me and you can trust me. Whether you like me is fucking subjective and none of my goddamn business. However, if you know me and you trust me, I will argue that you will refer me and or my company and potentially hire me to do work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what's important. Now, if you like them, okay. Like, for example, the crew I have here, I got a podcasting guy, another guy that does my LinkedIn. I genuinely like them. They are good people, but I didn't hire them because I like them. I hire them because I trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I know them because I took the time to get to know them. Yeah. I trust them to do the thing. And now someday, if I no longer trust them, but I like them, I guarantee you I will not give them another dollar. Because trusting them to do the fucking thing I paid them to do is more important than liking them for who they are. That's a fact. Well, if I like them, it's fucking, it's the cherry on top. But if you put cherry on dog shit, it ain't going to fucking go down right.
You can't put emotion first. I hate to be cliche, but in business, right? You
can't put emotions first. Not in business.
And I'll tell you this, if you call me right now, and you were like, hey, I got this idea, and I honestly believe in it, and I want you to be my partner. Let's fucking go. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm probably gonna entertain it. Probably 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
I did that a year ago. Last July, I called you. I was like, hey, I got this big project.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna go, but I need someone I trust. I told you that. I was like, hey, I need someone I trust and someone that I know. And I even said, this could be different because up until this point, we had never exchanged any dollars together.
No.
Right? Outside of junk removal, like I bought some carts off you and some basic shit. But it was always, when we did exchange dollars, it was mutual.
Yeah.
This is, hey, you're going to work for me.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, yeah, I'm game. And then about 2 weeks in, you're like, fuck you, I hate you. And then by the end of the 60 days, we're like, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
So what's funny is
because you trusted me.
Yeah.
We trusted each other.
That's the only thing that
we didn't like each other.
Well, when we first met,
for those 60 days, we didn't like each other.
No.
We did not like each other.
No, we didn't. You know why?
When we actually worked together, we didn't like each other.
And I never thought about quitting or stopping. Here's why. I trusted you. And if you look at how businesses can go, if let's say you and I just didn't like each other, but we knew each other's reputation, when it came to a business transaction, you're gonna be like, look, I don't like the fucking guy, but dude, he's good at this. Right? Well, when it was all said and done,
as long as they're not toxic.
Right. When it was all said and done, we not only did we become closer, we actually figured out more of a in-person way of how each other does business, right? And we had a couple of disputes. We agreed on this, we didn't agree on this, and then at some point I had to come in and say, hey, look, get the fuck out of here. Like you're getting on everybody's you need to go. And you're the boss, but still it's like you gotta fucking go, man. Like you're killing it right now. And it's because you were in a situation you weren't used to, and you were acting the only way you knew how, and that was like, and it's like, hey, we don't need the okay, we need you to fucking go. And the minute you went, like, left, it was like, okay, cool, we're good, because there was people there,
So here's what was up. When we were in Texas, when we first started, we were in Texas, you needed to be, and then we went to California together, and you're like, you be the guy.
Yeah.
By the time we got down south, because remember, you went away, you went banged out a couple job sites without me.
Yeah.
And then by the time we rendezvoused in Atlanta, you're like, you got to go. I don't care where you go.
Good, man.
Get in it. Actually, I was talking to Rachel and Rick last week. We were joking about this.
Yeah.
They gave me their car. You're like, get off the fucking job site. Rick came up, was like, here's our personal vehicle. Go back to the hotel. I went back to the hotel for a couple hours.
I kept asking you,
straight away. It was a mutiny. I got kicked off the boat.
I was trying to get.
But what did I do?
You left.
What did I do?
Room.
I left.
Yeah. And you came back and everything.
But I went back to.
You're like, okay, okay, cool. I'm like, you're out of your element, dude.
Yeah, good job. I was telling my girlfriend this weekend. She's on this program where she's got to eat like every 2 hours. Oh. And she's going to her fucking phone and she's like, oh, I got to mark it down that I ate. And I go, mark it fucking 8, dude. She's like, what? I was like, mark it fucking 8.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is fucking eating, not nom. There are fucking rules.
Yeah. She's
like, what? I was like, it's fucking Lebowski, right? And then she's like, oh my God. And then I was explaining to her, she's seen the movie and occasionally she gets the references.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, yeah, I've been compared to Walter most of my life, right? I can sit here all day and be like, I want to be the dude, but let's be fucking honest. I know who the fuck I am, right? And here's the thing about the Lebowski. Yeah. Let's not forget, dude, right? Fucking line from Lebowski. Walter was right.
Yeah.
She fucking kidnapped herself. He was right more than he was wrong.
Yeah.
It was a fucking ringer, right? You threw out a ringer for a fucking ringer. And the First Amendment, fucking A, man. We don't prior restraint. So Walter was right. Now he was wrong about the Big Lebowski himself being a quadriplegic, right? He's like, I've seen a lot of spinals, dude. So again, if you're fucking Walter, right? There's sometimes you need Walter taking down the kid, right? He was wrong about the Corvette. I mean, he was about whose Corvette it was, right? This way, don't fuck a stranger in the ass.
When you need a Walter.
In the TBS version, TBS version, it is this is what happens if you find a stranger in the Alps. Right? That's the edited version. You're right. I can sit here all day and be like, man, it'd be cool to be the dude. But that ain't right. You're the dude. Yeah. Look at you. You're sitting in your truck, drinking a beer, hanging out, while I'm sitting here yelling and screaming. Right? She fucking kidnapped herself.
Hey, you know what I bought?
Anyways.
You know what I bought 2 days ago? A fucking golf cart.
Oh my God, you have a golf cart? Why'd you do that for your neighbor?
For
you don't need golf
for my neighbor.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I'm getting rid of Yoda.
Actually,
I'm selling my Yoda.
I know. Actually, here, if you look, I just sold my house this weekend.
Congratulations!
Cleaning out my house. Thank you. I found my Big Lebowski. I think it was like a 10-year anniversary special, right? And there's oh, you can't see it. There it is. And there's fucking Walter right there.
Walter, man.
Right? Nothing is fucked here, dude. Nothing is fucked.
Here, hold on. I'll let you see.
Dude's card got a little binged up.
Here you go. Let's see if you can see it. Bought it as is. I got
it made the wall. That's nice. What? Why? Okay, so you bought that just to further on your neighborhood.
Yeah, so I bought it for $6,000.
What'd you pay?
$6,000.
You spent $6,000 on a golf cart?
You
just had a kid.
Hey,
you gonna put a car seat in there?
The only reason I bought it, honestly, because I'm selling the Yoda for $8,000, and I guarantee we're gonna use this probably 3, 4, 5 times a week. And I got
what? Get the fucking mail?
Yeah, just going around seeing everybody. I mean, everybody here. It's a big neighborhood. Everybody has 1 or more acres, so it's a big area.
Okay.
But we're going to use.
So it's Okay, all right. I'm not mad. I have a golf cart, but we have it on the farm. We got 16 acres. We got to get around sometimes.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I bought it for $6,000, and the cheapest I found that exact same golf cart was $11,000. So right now in Texas,
flip it for 10 and call it good.
I don't know what's going on,
10, baby.
I know, but I don't know what's going on in Texas. But golf carts are stupid. So I was like, "Fuck it,
get in the golf cart market."
And you know what? Guess who I bought it from? A customer, an old customer I met in Houston when the hurricane hit, when Hurricane Harvey hit.
Oh shit, that's fucked. That
long ago, because we still kept up on Facebook and shit. So yeah, man. So I went
down
there.
Did you go down to Houston?
Huh?
Did you have to go down to Houston and pick it up?
Yeah, I went there Saturday with Rylan.
You should have hit me up. I was in Houston on Friday.
I did fucking hit you up.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Gosh, you should have hit me up. And then what? And then told your voicemail to fuck itself? Because you didn't have a voicemail.
I didn't know. I had a voicemail. It was just full.
I even texted you.
You didn't make the fucking
queue.
Your
shit's fucking
I cleared up. Hey, I know. I cleared up my voicemail. I got on a goddamn boat, and the fucking voicemail fills up. And it wasn't even like, you know what it was? It was like 4 or 5 of them were spam. I'm not that popular, but it was one spammer that left a 3-minute voicemail. Maybe I talk to Verizon and get Also, I fucking hate voicemails. Just text me. I fucking hate voicemails.
Well, I did text you. And then I heard from you.
Yeah, later. You text me and tell me. Yeah, you text me to tell me that my voicemail was full. That was it. There wasn't a question.
Yeah, it was.
There wasn't. Oh, by the way,
Hold on. I quote. Exactly what I text you. All right.
I didn't get that text.
Right here. Your voicemail box is full and cannot receive any messages.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. Call me when you're back from your sailorific cruise. And then I got auto reply. I am currently out of the country, away from my phone. Please email. And I'm like, wow, this bitch. It's okay though.
For the record, 6 years.
Yeah.
Here's a feather in your cap kind of moment. 6 years in business. It was the first time I've ever put an out of office message on my text message and my email that was for vacation. I've done it before for the Army because fucking Army. I've never done it because I was on vacation. So I'm adulting. Some may say that's next step in evolution.
I like it.
Also, as you can see in the wall of greatness, I have a wall of all the best things. You got to be the best to make it to the wall. So as you can see,
the person in the middle, is that Caitlyn Jenner? I can't tell.
That is the greatest.
Caitlyn Jenner.
That is the greatest football player of all time. The most entertaining football player of all time.
Aaron Rodgers?
Brett Favre also starred in the great movie Something About Mary. Right. So you got Favre, you got Jordan, the GOAT. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. The GOAT. Rocky Balboa. The closest thing I got is a Balboa Street sign. And Lebowski, and then also next to Lebowski, or under Lebowski, is the greatest game.
Yeah,
Craps is a game I'm learning, and the reason I bring that up is because the boat got my craps dollars. That's it.
Oh my gosh,
the boat did better than I did. Here, we'll take a scenic tour while we're talking about it. Greatest country of all time, obviously, no big deal. The only thing that's not the greatest I'm seeing this now is I got the fucking Navy up here, and the only reason I got the Navy up here is because that's an old picture. I like that picture. And then you got the POW, you got Milwaukee, You got fucking Vince Lombardi, Gaelic Storm, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
right? We got some of the greatest.
Did,
so if you want to be among the greats.
Was it Milwaukee that had the food processing plant burned down yesterday randomly, making it like number one?
I don't know about that. Milwaukee food processing plant burned down. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I only know Menominee Falls because of you, so Milwaukee is kind of it for Wisconsin. And Green Bay. I think it's like number 100 for the year. Apparently, food processing plants are just spontaneously combusting.
There was one up in Wapaka 8 days ago. Fire damages food processing plant west of Wapaka. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
We do have. Is that what you're talking about? Because that's like that was not yesterday.
That was like yesterday, 2 days ago.
We do have Patrick Cudahy bacon is made here in Cudahy, Wisconsin, amply named after Freddie Cudahy. I don't know the guy's name.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, Cudahy. So Cudahy is a beautiful place. So it's right on the lakes. You're like, oh, this is fucking scenic. No, depending on which way the wind blows, it either smells like molten metal from Lattice Corp or bacon. So, if you're enjoying that nice walk on the beach, you might be smelling bacon in the air. And it's not like crispy bacon, like first thing in the morning on your George Foreman next to your bed bacon. I hope you understand the reference. It's like currently hog slaughtered bacon. I typed in Milwaukee food processing plant fire and I got nothing. Maybe I'll type.
I don't know. It's in Wisconsin.
So I'll get rid of Milwaukee.
So like since
fire damages
21, yeah.
It says Wapaka. That's it. Allegedly, we had the bird flu up here in Wisconsin, and we had to slaughter like hundreds of fucking chickens.
Allegedly,
I heard that
10,000 head of cattle all passed out at the exact same time and died of heat exposure in Kansas overnight last week.
So, got it. Let's just talk this through real quick. How did we go from branding to cattle and bird falling down, dying? Oh, the Milwaukee sign.
Here's how. Whenever I think of anything that's too good to be true, or like, hey, that sounds really fucked up, it could never ever happen without influence from the government, I think of the government.
Jesus.
And they've branded themselves.
Are you saying there's a conspiracy against the government killing birds and chickens and cows now?
Ain't a conspiracy when it's true, man. That's what sucks. Go look up who owns the most farmland in the country. It'll surprise you because that dude also started fucking Windows.
Bill Gates?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck's he doing with the farmland? That's
putting some fucking overalls on. That's what he's doing.
Well, here we go. On this episode of the Trash Talk Business Podcast, we covered everything from personal branding to conspiracy theories. Next week's episode, God only knows. And even he's guessing. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to turn in so we can hear from Casey Bubba Lawrence down in Roanoke, Texas.
Fort Worth.
Roanoke. I know, whatever. Anyways, I use Roanoke. How I say it the first time, I was like, Ranack? I was like, where's this Ranack place? He's like, Roanoke? I was like, whatever. Casey Bubba Lawrence. I'm Andy Weins. Signing off. We will see you next week. And again, tune in to find out what we come up with next.
See ya.